Welcome back to table tennis and the Internet of Things. Your dreams were your ticket out. I was just down at the Hitchcock Church in Scarsdale. I asked my wife to accompany me on a date. We went to the giant tag sale down there, and I came back with a few things. These nice, expensive sunglasses, name brand. And unfortunately I wear prescription, so I don't often wear these non-prescription, but I may just keep them up there as like an accessory. Sorry Manny if you're getting shaded there, but I think it looks cool and I may just go with it. This thing, my daughter tells me it's terrifying, but look at this thing, and it's got like this rubbery thing that helps the jaw, the mandibles go. I mean, are you kidding me? I know my brother-in-law Greg is jealous. And lastly, and you know I love jerseys, this national, I think, Mexico soccer team jersey, and I may give this to my friend Juan if he's interested. They're moving soon. Juan, take a look. This could be yours. So that's just some of the new Internet of Things. I'm sure there'll be a story with that at some point. Everybody knows I'm a thrift store guy and a salvage guy. This shirt, salvage. I got this at in Nashville, Tennessee, Belmont. Don't you love the bear? Love that little mascot. And Belmont, if I had to defend my thesis today, I would say I just was listening to this version of My Sweet Lord, one of my favorite songs by the Belmonts. So it's an Internet of Things, and that's what I'm going with today. Anyway, I was recently explaining to one of the subscribers of the vlog, and by the way, my daughter tells me that the pronunciation has been adjudicated and it's vlog, not vlog, and I'll be considered a weirdo if I continue to say vlog. So I'm going with vlog, even though I really do like that pronunciation with the vlog piece better. I'm going to do it for the sake of domestic harmony. And so, be that as it may, if you were paying attention to one of the earlier episodes, I said that I went to an online shop sitting on the dock of eBay and bought some patches. And you already know about Manny Sanguian, but you'll know more if I get around to it in a future episode. Manny's definitely worth a full episode. You know, we'll see if that happens. But the driving force behind the lot of patches, that original lot of 5 patches, was actually John Montefusco. John Montefusco is a former Major League Baseball player with San Francisco Giants and the Yankees and so on. His nickname was the Count. Love that, the Count of Montefusco. I mean, just that name. Anyway, I told you about my brother Jared. He gave me the autographed baseball of Mickey Rivers. I still have it here. Can you see that? Because I just was like, you know, getting it ready for pitching, you know. But last time I didn't really let you zoom in. In that fluffy R that he signed is a number 17. That's the number that he wore on his jerseys. And so, right, I digress, I think. Anyway, if you're, and I'll digress again because it's on my mind. If you're a baseball fan of that time, a Boston Red Sox or Yankee fan, go onto YouTube and search for Luis Tiant, It's Great to Play for a Wiener, and Mickey Rivers together. Just put those names in the search, and hopefully you'll get to this interview with Luis Tiant. They were asking him about one of the more maybe obscure or underrated players that he found difficult to pitch to, and he talks about Mickey Rivers, and he talks about how one time Mickey Rivers fouled off 17 pitches and then slapped a homer into the stands, and some of the funny interaction that they had while Mickey was rounding the bases. I get a chuckle every time. Anyway, number 17, Mickey Rivers, fouled off 17 pitches. It's an Internet of Things, I'm telling you. Alright, so more digression there, of course. And what I really wanted to tell you about is my brother, right? He's an actor, writer, among other things. He wrote an adaptation of The Count of Monte Cristo by anybody? Bueller? Alexandre Dumas. And so with my tailoring patch hobby, I decided I was going to shop at my thrift shops that I go to and find a garment, and I was going to sew on the Count of Montefusco, as we used to say in the day, just for the goof, just for kicks. And so I did. I found a nice old secondhand softball jersey, and I sewed on the Count with my newly dusted off sewing skills. And then I started thinking, like, what's the Count up to today? The Internet of Things. And, Wikipedia, Google, blah, blah, blah. Turned out that the Count had some tough times after baseball. There was a domestic abuse period, and it's really unfortunate. And he did some time, unfortunately. And I can forgive that. When people are, want to be forgiven and they're working hard for redemption, I can forgive. I really think we have to do more of that. We should do more of that. Anyway, Twitter. I got on Twitter looking, more news, and I found unfortunately, on Twitter an account that said it was John Montefusco's. A lot of regurgitated Fox News stuff. Now, don't please, my family and friends who are conservative, don't try to change my mind. I'm settled on this, that Fox News is a big part of the problem. My friend Rick, who's my neighbor and my sort of training partner at the table tennis club, we often go for pizza afterwards, and there's a pizza place that we really like because they sell their pizza for half off at 9 or 9:30 or whatever. But unfortunately, they blast Fox News, and most recently we've been boycotting. I'm going to send them a little message. Guys, if you're looking over at Thornwood Pizza, I think it's called, turn it off. Turn it off. Let's just, have peace. Let's have music. Let's leave that out of it, okay? And we'll come back, believe me. Okay, so anyway, 3 patches left. Because I decided that Jared just was not going to do this. Going to wear that with those 2 connections there. And so after TT, I had to take out my seam ripper and rip off and bench the Count of Montefusco. So with the 3 patches that were left, if you remember, it was Chet Lemon, Richie Zisk, and who was the third? We'll get to those in a second. But anyway, I then went down Chet Lemon. Chet Lemon and Richie Zisk, former White Sox ball players. My dad used to fly. We used to fly with my dad, my brother, my sister, and I out to Chicago, where my dad's mom lived, in the summer so that we could visit. And we would take in a game, Comiskey Park or Wrigley Field. So I got to have a soft spot for some of these Chicago White Sox and Cubs players. And so Chet Lemon, it turns out, I was reading, and he was, apparently he was a religious guy, and part of his religion and ethics told him that he could not sign on to the national anthem at that time. It wasn't big news as far as I remember. I didn't know anything about that at the time. But he wouldn't stand for the national anthem, and he said that his religion said that it was, you cannot glorify war. And he was just quietly, I love this country, I love this game, I love all the opportunities that it's given, I love everything about it, but I cannot sign on to that. And it seemed to be fine. It wasn't a big deal. So he was the original Colin Kaepernick, and a man of conscience. And when I say Kaepernick, I know some people are going to hiss. I don't. Again, let's just love each other. Let's not argue the politics of it. So on goes Chet Lemon, and in the Internet of Things, my brother Jared was wearing this jersey when we went to a concert most recently of Elliot Lurie. He was performing in Manhattan, and I bought tickets for my family because Elliot Lurie, Looking Glass, Brandy. Believe me, Brandy is an Internet of Things episode that's coming. I don't know about the table tennis part of it, but somehow it will work in. Anyway, this guy at the end of the concert came over and saw this patch that I had sewn on for Jack. Under his that jersey, he was wearing his Elliot Lurie merch that I had also gifted to him. But anyway, this guy came up, he looked like our generation, and he said, "Chet Lemon?" It was like, oh my God, who wears a Chet Lemon jersey? And my brother said that arguably that was the highlight of the night. Anyway, what does this have to do with table tennis, you ask, Grasshopper? So now if you're keeping count, there are 2 patches left, and I forgot what the one was besides Richie Zisk, who was also a Chicago White Sox player. The other one was Biff Pocoroba. And so, I don't know, the name Biff Pocoroba for some reason just makes me laugh. It tickles my, English major poetry kind of senses. Who names somebody, Biff. You name somebody Biff, and then you follow that up with Pocoroba. It's like, how do those 2 names go together? How do you name somebody Biff? And shouldn't it be like Biff Bronson or Biff whatever? It doesn't, but Pocoroba. I don't know. It's like, I don't know how those things work together, but I love it. And so, that's one of my patches. Anyway, so one of those days a few weeks ago when I was going to the club, I came in, there was a guy there, a little older gentleman, and he was introduced to me as Davies. And I was told later by my friend Courage, who also is a coach and trainer at the club, that he was visiting from Nigeria and he had done some umpiring at the most recent monthly open at the Westchester Table Tennis Center. So later when I was walking in getting changed, Davies came up to me and said, "Hey, I could walk you through a little stretching if you want, before you go and play. How would you like that?" And I said, "Sure." And I got the feeling that he was kind of doing it, and that he wouldn't say no if I gave him a tip, and maybe that was really even the purpose of it. I don't know. I was happy to oblige. He walked me through some stretching and getting the wrists and a little cardio, and off I went to play. And I gave him a tip, and he was happy. And later on, he came to me and said, "Thanks a lot. I'm traveling, and if you could think of any odd jobs, I would be happy to do them." And I thought, what could I do for this? What is he gonna? What can I do? What for this guy? And I laughed, and I said, "You know what? I actually have 2 patches and 2 shirts that I really like to wear when I play table tennis." And I packed up my portable sewing kit and my 2 shirts and my 2 patches, and I took a chance that I could pay Davies to sew the patches on. And I saw him at the club like the next night, and I said, "Hey, do you sew?" And he said, "Yeah, I could sew." And so here's my this one jersey that I like. Again, secondhand, of course. Salvation Army or Goodwill, who knows. CP, I don't know what it means. Clifton Park, I have no idea. But I love maroon, I love white, I love jerseys, you know that. Number 37. And here's the patch that Davies sewed on for me. It's my Richie Zisk, Polish-American, former White Sox and All-Star, 1977. And I love it. And I, in my quirky sense of humor, it looks like an endorsement, and I use it as kind of a psychological weapon against my opponents. I make them wonder, like, oh boy, is he endorsed? He's got that patch. Is it official? Is this guy some kind of, like, ringer table tennis? And I'm quiet. I'm not. Anyway, Second shirt, second hand. I think I got this one over, across the river in when I was working in New Jersey, and nice light blue, moisture wicking. And if you notice on this one, Davey somehow must have run out of the white because he went with like a black stitching of my Biff Pokeroba. Look at that. It's crazy. And anyway, the black, I think it just adds to the whole mystique of this. So Grasshopper, that is the people that you meet at the club, and the things and the people and the Internet of Things. And thanks for joining me, and we'll be back to it another time. I am he as you are. As a postscript, as I was looking at that, at the previous, I noticed that you couldn't really see the bear and Belmont, so I just wanted to give you a little shot at that. Hopefully you can see that now, Belmont and the bear. And go listen to that song by the Belmonts. I know, Rach, that you want some highlights, so I'm just going to try to do a little juggling here. Here we go. This is for you, Rach.